was built from 1930 to 1934. Construction was paused for 1 year because of the Depression. It was built by the Aspley family, Bruce Aspley. He passed it on to his son Walter Aspley. The Plaza was their crowning jewel of their movie mini empire, if you want to look at it that way. When he built the multiplex, the modern multiplex down across from Walmart, he closed this theater and sold it to the Harper Slinker family. They tried to operate it for a little while, but they decided to close it, and it fell into disrepair and sat unoccupied for about 17 years. During most of the 80s and 90s, it was empty. And then at some point, they decided they wanted to sell it. The city expressed an interest in purchasing it, and in 2001, the city purchased it, and then the renovations were completed in 2005. They patterned it after some of the great movie palaces of the time. It was built by a local architect named Dixon Rapp. It was patterned after places like the Fox in Atlanta and some of the big theaters around the country. It's a very large theater for a community of only 14,000 people. The population of Glasgow's been about 14,000 for years. We seat over 1,000 here, so we can get a 14th of the population of the city into our theater. Some of the famous people that have been here at the theater include early on in their careers Dolly Parton, the Oak Ridge Boys, Gene Autry, and his horse Champion. Champion was actually on the stage of the theater. At our grand reopening ceremonies, we had several people get up and speak. And one woman that talked was, when the theater first opened, she was about 6 years old, and she got to go up on stage and feed Champion an apple. And she was here at the dedication of the theater at the reopening. Well, we have quite a few historic aspects remaining here in the theater. We have the original movie projectors that were here from the 1930s. They're the old carbon arc style that you don't find in operation anymore just because they're hazardous. They create a lot of toxic fumes. They operate on the idea of a giant spark jumping a gap. We have some of the original equipment that runs the marquee. We have an old brush and rotor system that makes the top of the marquee operate. It's a huge box, 4 foot by 3 foot, that today would be operated by a couple computer chips, but it still runs the top of the marquee. About 60% of the ceiling had to be replaced in the auditorium. A lot of the fabric, almost all the fabric goods had to be replaced because of moisture damage and also dry rot and mildew. The seats were kept, but they were reupholstered and refoamed with new upholstery and new foam. All the decorative curtains were replaced. The stage was extended in this last renovation so it could accommodate larger live acts because it was originally built as only a movie theater. Even though in the second year of operation in 1935 they started bringing some live acts in, the stage still wasn't very big. So those things were renovated. All the painting and detail and trim work and decoration on the walls is original to the theater. They had to do a little cleaning and touch-up of the painting, but all the faux finishes, the faux brick, the faux stone, that's all original to the theater from '34. Plaza is especially important because it's the heritage of the community. Well, we have lots of ways for people in the community to get involved, both through the Broadway players and through the theater itself. There are only 2 full-time employees that manage the theater. Everyone else is a volunteer. So when people come to a show and they see ushers, ticket takers, ticket sellers, those are all volunteers. The people that grew up coming to the Plaza, we get people every day stopping by wanting to just stick their head in. They're from out of town, they've moved away, they want to take a look at the Plaza, they grew up here, they have fond memories, they know exactly which seats they sat in as kids growing up and watching the movie theaters. We even have one woman we have a fundraising program where you can purchase a seat plaque and get a seat plaque inscribed and put on the seat of your choice. We have one woman who purchased a seat plaque and she put it on the seat where she had her first kiss, and on the plaque it says, "My first kiss." People just want a chance to escape. It's the same reason they go to the movies. It's just that movies can sometimes do things that are more special effectsy than we can do, even though live theater can never be replaced by movies because it's that live event. I mean, you have a human being a few feet from you performing for you.